Hey guys, welcome back. I've had a lot of positive responses on my videos and tons of views, so I wanted to just make a quick one this morning. And I didn't do my hair or anything like that, especially because of what I'm talking about today. Go easy on yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was your butt. I keep seeing a lot of posts, another one today about somebody who's been keto for 25 days and they've only lost 5 pounds or whatever else. Let me ask you, like, when you remember the weight that you've decided is your goal weight, how long ago did you weigh that? Was it like today? Was it yesterday? Was it a week ago? Or for most of us, is it like years, 5 years, maybe 10 years? So to try to expect to, like, I understand in a modern world, like, we got microwaves and you take your car to the mechanic and it's done the next day or so, but this is going to take time, people. Rome was not built in a day, and neither was your butt. So if you're looking at ketogenics and you're looking at the scale every day and you want to know how much weight you've lost or what foods could be slowing up your weight loss, or you're feeling stalled and you want to get a different meal so that you can break that plateau, like, come on, people. If you're talking about less than 6 months of time, I mean, if you're plateaued after a year or something, then yeah, let's talk about a plateau. But if we're talking about regular old keto and you're just getting started, just get control back over your hunger cycle. You know, that's what keto is going to do for you in month one. You're going to get used to operating off of fats and not operating off of carbs. You're going to lose the addiction to sugar and carbohydrates, and you're not going to feel like you need to eat all the time. A lot of people put back in intermittent fasting or do a 1 or 2 day fast after they're settled into keto. It's a diet, it's a habit, and for you to develop this habit is what's important. So push the fats, hit your low number of carbs. Like I keep saying hit your carbs. So stay under 20 carbs. You don't need to have 20 carbs. If you only have 8, that's fine. You don't need to hit your carbs. But you need to give yourself some time to get adapted to a diet. And I remember there was that infomercial back in the day, Stop the Insanity, with Susan Powter, and that white haired buzz cut that she had. And she said, stop the insanity, right? But like, she's right. Like, the insanity is feeling like you need to eat all the time, feeling cranky all the time, and not being able to gain weight because you haven't controlled anything to do with your insulin. So your insulin levels are high and you're not able to access your food or access your fats. So what you want to do is get fat adapted, break the cycle of insulin and glucose, and adjust to a new lifestyle that's gonna take time. But if you no longer feel controlled by food, if you no longer feel controlled by your cravings, you'll be able to lose that weight over time. You know, so don't ask yourself, how much weight will I lose in a month, or how much weight am I going to get off by week 3 or by month 2. Ask yourself, have I always had a food problem or a food addiction problem? And is that what stopped me from losing weight in the past, that I was addicted to food? And could I lose weight if I no longer felt addicted to food? If I no longer cared about eating so regularly? If I no longer had such acute cravings? And if you feel like, yeah, if I wasn't addicted to food, if I didn't have cravings all the time, I bet you I could lose weight. That's what keto is doing for you. It's breaking that craving cycle. It's getting you used to running off the fat that you already have inside your body so that you're not starving all the time. It's about changing your appetite and your hunger regulation, and then the weight loss comes, because it's a diet that changes the way that your body operates. It becomes a way of eating that you follow over time. And then once you have control over your hunger, you can get the pounds off if you want then. But it's not about losing weight. It's about getting control of your hunger and your craving cycles and your insulin levels. And once you have control over your cravings and your hunger and your insulin cycles, the weight loss can be something that you are able to do, because you no longer have lost control over all those factors that determine your weight loss. Yes, you're going to need a calorific or a caloric deficit, but you're not going to need necessarily caloric restriction. At some point, you're going to feel satiated throughout your day, and you're not going to eat all the calories that you could be allowed to have. And that's what you should be looking for, a natural reduction in your cravings and your hunger that will lead to weight loss, not a diet where you impose a way of eating to cause weight loss. You impose a way of eating to break an addiction. You go through your keto flu, which is your withdrawal from sugars and carbohydrates and glucose, and then once you get beyond that, you don't have those feelings anymore and you can move on. So I'm going to cut this one here, but and I'm going to get back to Heather right real quick. Yeah, it is more attainable, you know? You just get control of your carbs, you break the hunger starvation cycle, and then the weight loss will come as your hunger regulates. So Heather, I'm glad that you find these useful. I'm going to keep doing them. I make an effort to read things in the morning and then in these forums, and then I like to respond to what I see that to me sticks out the most. And to me, what sticks out the most is people getting down on themselves about weight loss amounts, or paying too much attention to the scale in the first month, or trying to impose calorie restriction in the first month. Look, it took you a long, gradual time, probably 5 pounds or 10 pounds per year. I used to weigh 205 pounds at the end of college, and then I was 210, and then it was 215 and 220, and then I hung out in the 230s for a while, and then I slid to 240s and I stayed there for a while. But after I was in the 240s, I slid right through the 250s to 260, and somewhere around 266 I had one of those moments where I said, fuck, I don't like this anymore, I'm gonna change it. And keto wasn't how I lost the first set. The first set was just kicking my addiction to sugar, specifically lots of sodas, and then becoming active and joining MMA. But to do the rest of it, I'm using keto. So it was wonderful talking to you guys again. I love everybody that's reached out to me in DMs to tell me about their struggles or problems or the beginning of their journey. I encourage you guys to keep asking me questions, and I'll do my best to find answers if I don't have them. Bye.